I have so many great favorites this month. I don't think it's fair to keep keeping these products from you, so let's just go ahead and get started in my...
What the heck month is it?
I guess these would be September favorites, middle of October favorites. It's just a general favorites video. So I'm actually going to start with a couple hair favorites. First off is this Mousse Mousse Air Turbocharged Hair Styling Foam. That's kind of an excessively long name, but this is basically just a mousse, and this is from Giovanni Eco Chic Hair Care. So I just found this at I believe I got this at Whole Foods actually. It's a medium to firm hold texturizing mousse, which is really helpful for my texture of hair. If you have thinner hair like me and you feel like your hair doesn't hold curl very well, or if you have like wavy curly hair and you want something to tame curls, this is really great because it adds that texture and grip, so it's going to hold your style a lot more. This is such a key product for me in using the Dyson. It really helps hold the style, which I did do my hair with the Dyson today. I always do, and this has been like a game changer for actually getting my hair to hold. It also has a natural fragrance in it. Both of these products I'm going to mention were products I was looking to find that didn't have fragrances that irritated me, and this one does have a natural fragrance in it. It does not bother me. Everyone's scent sensitivity is different, so if you are like allergic to scents, it might be different for you, but for me it's been like a really great home run product. Next, finding a fragrance-free, aerosol-free hairspray has been such a journey, and I finally found this one. This is from Carina Organics. It's the Unscented Fast Drying Hairspray. It's kind of like whiting out the label, but this I also found at a local grocery store. It's a firm hold. It does smell like alcohol, but it doesn't smell like anything else that is fragrance free, and it's non-aerosol, but it does the job. I also used it on my hair today, and I was really excited to find something that was fragrance free. It's also not super expensive. I was looking on Amazon and saw a couple different fragrance-free hair lines, but they were all like pretty pricey, like $20–30. I didn't want to spend that much on it. This one is a little bit less expensive than that. It does what it needs to do and does not give me an allergic reaction. My skincare favorite is a new product actually from Hero Cosmetics, who will be the sponsor of this portion of today's video. So this is their new Pimple Correct Acne Clearing Gel Pen. It's a 2% salicylic acid treatment. So here is what the pen looks like. It looks similar to their lightning wand, where it comes in like this plastic tube, and then you open it up and it has a squeezy dispenser, like this little soft part that you push up. So when you first get it, to use it, you need to sort of like hit this on a hard surface, and then you basically just press this until the product starts to come up, and then once it is, you're ready to go. So this is designed to treat like those stubborn under the skin pimples, which I get so much of the time, especially like hormonal acne around my chin. They tend to be those like more stubborn, harder to treat pimples. If you're not already familiar with Hero Cosmetics, you may have seen them in Target, specifically this product, one of their cult classic products, one of my favorites as well, the Mighty Patch Original Patches that are great for blemishes. So same brand that makes those, they came out with this new product. I really enjoy a lot of their skincare and body care. So since this is a treatment product, I've been using it after my toner before other serums, just to make sure it's really getting right on the skin. And along with the salicylic acid, it also has lactic and azelaic acid, which exfoliate block pores, and tea tree capsules. So one of the first things I noticed about this when I applied it, I was like, that smells really good and really familiar. It smells like tea tree, which I really like, and I find tea tree works really well on my skin in the right quantity, not like straight up tea tree oil on your skin. It also has aloe leaf juice and prickly pear extract, so those are a little bit more soothing, so you're not gonna get that like super harsh effect. It is also fragrance free, so I do smell the tea tree in it, but there's no added fragrance. I love no added fragrance products. They're the best. Oh, I just noticed there's like these little Orbeez in it. I thought those were bubbles the whole time, but those are the tea tree capsules. Okay, that's super cool. It does have those encapsulations in there. So I have been using this the past couple days on these blemishes I have down here. You'll see in the application that are some stubborn ones on my chin, and it actually really helped bring these to a head. It actually brought one of them to like 2 heads. You know, those kinds of pimples that like, they hurt a lot and they're not just like one head, they turned out to be like multiple pimple monsters. This is just super helpful with those types of blemishes that are really hard to treat when they're like under the skin, and it helps to bring that to the surface. So since it already like brought it to a head, I've been using it about once a day. You can do it more. It depends on your skin. It could be a little bit drying if you're using it multiple times a day, It'll probably work a little bit quicker, but you know, just play around and see what works best for you. But once a day has been really effective for me. I did do it twice a day on the first day that I used it, just to really help speed that up. And then I've been using the pimple patches as well overnight, and that combo is perfect. So if you have like cystic acne, under the skin pimples that are really stubborn, you want to speed it up and make sure that pimple comes to the surface so you can treat it and get it over with. I have been really loving this. As always, Hero makes supreme products for pimple care, sensitive skin, and this one is no different. It's very potent as well, that 2% salicylic acid. To be able to find this for $19.99 at Target. I don't know if you consider that the drugstore. Target drugstore. It's just a more affordable, really effective skincare product. So I'll go ahead and link this below so you can have it on hand for those pimple emergencies. But yeah, super cool. Love you, Hero Cosmetics. Thanks for partnering with me again. I do have some fails this month as well, which we'll save for the end of the video. But hopping into base products, this is something, it's like a rediscovery of mine. The Saie Super Glowy Gel. This is the Sunglow shade, which is the bronze, which I got for my self-tanness, but I don't self-tan anymore. So this isn't ideal. I would definitely prefer the other shade, but I've been still using it because I forgot how much I loved the glowy base that this gives, and it's different from other glowy products because it is water-based. You have oily skin, textured skin, and you feel like your makeup gets like layered on and cakey very quickly, like it does for me. This is a great option because it's super thin. It feels even lighter than a moisturizer, like it doesn't feel like anything on your skin, but it does give you that glowy effect. If you don't like the Charlotte Tilbury Glow Wand, if you don't like the e.l.f. one, because those are a bit thicker, they're sort of more designed for drier skin, this is a good option to still get that glowy base without the heaviness or oiliness. Also wanted to give a quick mention to the Honest Beauty, I believe this is called, yeah, their Fresh Flex Concealer. I have the shade Ivory. I really love this. Comes in a glass tube, like it feels expensive. This is a really fantastic spot concealer because it stays where you put it. If you use a lot of different concealers for spots, you may notice that some sort of like slip off of your skin. This is one where, especially if you let it dry a little bit, it concentrates the coverage. Don't like this for under my eyes because it creases, even though it claims to be crease resistant. So it's a no for under the eyes, but as a pimple concealer, it is one of my favorites. It feels lightweight as well, doesn't get cakey. All around, great concealer. The Pixi by Petra Correction Concentrate Brightening Peach Under Eye Corrector. This has been in many of my favorites video, but I always feel a need to mention it. This literally lasts forever, but this is the perfect under eye corrector. It does not interfere with concealer or crease, which I didn't really struggle to find a corrector because this was the first under eye corrector I bought, and I just loved it. So I didn't feel the need to try other ones. People ask me if it compares to the Becca. I haven't tried that one, but this one is, I think it's probably a little bit more of a drier consistency than the Becca. That one seems very creamy. Sticks where you need it to stick, corrects the under eyes, and it's also on the more affordable side. If you see this little guy at Target, pick her up. For that everyday light contour vibe, the KVD Modcon Gel Contour has been one of my absolute favorites. This is the Fair Cool, amazing shade. It has a nice big doe foot and it is a very liquidy consistency. I've noticed with a lot of my favorites, I love like water-based, very thin products because if you're similar to me with like textured skin, you feel like your makeup gets cakey very easily. Liquid products are just the thinnest products, so they're gonna look more natural and you could layer more and have it not feel or look heavy. So this does dry relatively quickly. I can do my whole face and manage it. So I do this cheekbones, forehead, nose, under my jawline, the whole shebang. And it's more on the sheer side, which makes it very natural and blendable. I'm amazed that like no contour products were like this before this one came out. The fact that it's more sheer looks way more natural as a contour versus like a very full coverage stick, because that doesn't quite mimic a shadow like a more sheer formula like this does, because like a shadow is like semi-translucent. It's not like this type of contour in your face, you know what I'm saying? So this one is really great. So I have a concealer favorite and a concealer flop we'll talk about later. My favorite, the Lancôme Teint Idôle. I already butchered that. Teint. The Ultra Wear All Over Concealer from Lancôme. I got the shade 90. This is really nice and light, so I like to let this sit on my under eyes for like quite a long time because I think this might also be water based. I wouldn't be surprised because it's very thin and liquidy. I like to let this sit to get more coverage out of it. It's a really nice everyday level of coverage concealer. It does crease a tiny bit in my lines, which is interesting. I don't, it's still a favorite of mine though because it's just so minimal, and I really like the freshness of it because I do like the Jouer concealer, but if I'm using more medium light coverage foundation, that one can be too much coverage. So this was like a nice in-between product for me, and I just always end up reaching for it even though it does crease a little bit. Be aware of that. If you are more mature, this might not be the best pick for you, but I've been making it work. And another rediscovered favorite, the Rituel de Fille. I'm always drawn to this brand during the holidays because they just have the coolest products. I need to look at their website. This is the Bee Sting Color Nectar Pigment Balm. It's this like super cute mini cream blush. It's called Bee Sting. It's like this creamy, but not like super oily, but still like that juicy cheek look. It's that perfect in-between formula for me. Like very pigmented as you can tell, but it shears out nicely. I did do a tiny bit of this when I was blending the concealer out, and as I blend it, you can just see like it gives you this flush, which I much prefer over pigmented cream blushes. I know everyone loves the Rare Beauty ones. I just don't that much pigment. Like I don't want that in a cream blush. I want this like dewy, fresh, I just like got out from the freezing cold type of glow, and that's what it's giving. They do have a lot of other really pretty, interesting shades, and this brand is super cool. It also smells pretty good. Like it smells natural, but I like the scent of it. So really cute, tiny little product that I love. Another blush I've been loving is this duo from Iconic London, the Silk Glow Duo. This I actually like didn't think I would like. Is this a baked formula? I guess it's sort of like a baked gel formula. This blush I didn't think I would like because it does have like a very slight gold shimmer in it, which I don't prefer, but it's the prettiest shade, especially on the skin, and it kind of just shears out to look very natural. I'm a huge baked product person. I love baked products. I also really like this highlight. It's actually light enough for my skin as well, and these mixed together gives you the prettiest glowy cheek combo, very like holiday-esque. I keep talking about the holidays, but you know, we're almost there. Why not? I don't remember if I've ever talked about this on my channel, let alone in a favorites video. The Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder and Highlight 01. The name doesn't make sense, Matte Radiance Powder, and it's a highlight. I don't know what they were thinking, but this is another big product. If you want a natural highlight, but you still like looking glowy, this is perfect. I've been using this forever. Also, like, I mean, big products just last so long. So there it is on that finger. It's very, 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 very finely milled, and it's the prettiest, like, very light champagne. Does not cast dark on my skin. So all you fair skinned people out there who have trouble with highlighters, want something natural that looks super pretty, and like it's just perfect for every day for that glowy look, but it isn't like you don't see the particles on your skin. It's perfect for textured skin too because of that. The Laura Mercier powder I also wanted to talk about. This is just the original translucent. My one con with this is it's a little bit deepening on my skin, so it just tints my skin a tiny bit. But this powder, like, I don't know what they did to this powder to make it so iconic, but it's the only powder that like really sets down my makeup and doesn't add weight to it, and it just gives you like this soft look, especially if you do a setting spray. Like it barely looks like you have powder on, but it controls oil, and it just, the effect is unlike any other powder I've tried. I love the Ilia powder, but I ran out of that, so I've just been using this big honker that I have because there's just so much in here. Got this around the holidays. If you like this powder too, I think this giant size is a really good value. 1.7 ounces. So yeah, this will last me a while. Powders take a long time to expire as well. 12 months? Call it 24. But it's a classic. If you haven't tried this already and you have oily skin, I think you'll love it. If you have like drier skin, you might not love this formula. Maybe the Ultra Blur one, which I like as well, but this one's just still classic. On to the eyeshadows. I've been into cool tones lately. Who would have thought I was like a diehard warm eyeshadow person, and now I like cool tones? But it's because I found the right cool tones, and these two palettes are it. The That's Taupe Colourpop palette has this cool like snakeskin design, and these are like stony but like neutral cools. Like I really like how there's still a little bit of warmth in these to make them like very natural, and they don't pull too gray, and you just have such a pretty array of colors. Like you could do glam or natural. This shade is really pretty. I believe it's a Super Shock. I mean, all of these metallics, they're just, I feel like, so wearable if you want to get into cool tones and you feel like some of them just don't work for you. These are so pretty, and the mattes are great. Colourpop really can't beat their shadows. And then this is another palette. This one has a slightly different tone from Pley Beauty, the Modern Muse palette. I really love the packaging of these. They're like cardboard, 100% recyclable, which is also cool. You have to be careful if you want to hold this up though. I don't know why you would, but like it comes out very easily. But these are more of a purpley, but still not too red purple. That's what I don't love about like a lot of cool tone palettes, is that they pull to like red and purple. But like with this eye look that I did, like they have that like slightly more warmth to them, but they're still cool. I don't know, is this a cool tone palette, or is this like I'm lying to myself and it's like neutral warm? It's just a favorite of mine. I like how it's mostly matte shades, and then you get these two shimmer shades in the middle, which are more of topper shades. I used the like orangey one on my lid today. They're a little bit more sheer, which I think is actually like super pretty, and the mattes are not super pigmented, but I actually like that. They're very beginner friendly and blendable. Ever since I tried the Makeup by Mario palette, I've been into like non-pigmented shadows. As long as they're smooth and blendable, I don't need like full pigment. Like this still works, and it's actually easier to use for the everyday. So this is a cool brand, and I really like this specific palette. They have a bunch of other colorways as well. Also wanted to quickly mention two like other eyeshadow faves. Laura Mercier eyeshadow crayon. This is a sample I got in Strapless. These just last forever, and they're so creamy. So if you want to do like a smoky eye, I like using this as just like an eyeliner sometimes. And then also the Colourpop Birthday Wish. This is an ultra glitter Super Shock shade, so it has a lot of glitter in it. It has this really interesting greenish gray base with purple in it, so it goes really well with cool tone shadows, and I've been reaching for it a lot. It's a little bit of a pop. On to lip liners. Oh my gosh, I found a similar dupe to the Lime Crime Taupe, which I've been talking about forever, trying to find a dupe for it. The Sephora Contour Rouge Gel Liner in the shade The Nudist 01, the lightest shade. I don't feel like the packaging sort of depicts the color the best, but they're very creamy and gel-like. I'll talk about the cons later on, but that's the Sephora shade. And then closer to me is the Lime Crime shade. So they're very similar. The Lime Crime actually has like a slight more like warmth to it, but they're very similar. The Lime Crime formula I definitely like better. So the Sephora one is creamier. It doesn't last as long. It's not like a true pencil like it's a twist up one, which are not my favorite, but because the shade is so similar, I'm still like, yes, finally. Used it on my lips today. It does feel more moisturizing. It doesn't stay as long, but I'm so glad. Found a similar shade. I saw this on Sephora and was like, I have to try it out and see if it's similar. And it turned out to be super similar, so I'm very happy because my little Lime Crime one is really, it's getting down to it. And then my last fave, this PYT lipstick in the shade Icon. Someone actually commented, I think on my Fair Skin Drugstore video, and they said, I mentioned this in my previous Fair Skin video, and they picked it up and really loved it. And I was like, I totally forgot about this lipstick. So they reminded me to pull it back out of my collection. If you were that person who commented, thank you, because now I've rediscovered this lipstick. This is just a really nice creamy lipstick formula, and the shade is a perfect, that swatched weird, it's because of the shape of my hand. It's a really nice like neutral pink. It doesn't pull too warm or too cool. It also has a coordinating gloss. Slight vanilla scent, but nothing too annoying. It's just so creamy and natural and neutral and perfect. On to the flops. I'm sorry, one size. I tried out both of these products recently. Let's start with the Turn Up the Base BB Cream Beauty Blur Balm. I was so excited to try this. I really do love Patrick Starr and his makeup style, and everything's just amazing. It left me speechless. It's supposed to be blurring, and I thought this would be like a really nice everyday product. The shade I got is a little bit dark. It's called Very Fair with Neutral Undertones. It's not that fair. The packaging is also really annoying. Let me open it. Because you open this up, you can already see it's dirty, and you squeeze it out, and then it like gets on the outside of the packaging, which is not optimal. So this was very texture enhancing for me, which was ironic. It's supposed to be a blurring balm. Like, it gave really nice coverage and I like the matte finish, but it also didn't last that long either. So I think for like short term, it's pretty good, but I'm not keeping it because I'm just not gonna get the use out of it. I don't know, maybe it's silicone that is just like not doing well with my texture, but I had like this big spot on the bottom of my face that was just like so textured looking because of this product. I tried it several times. Didn't work out for me, unfortunately. I really wanted to love it, but and then I also tried out the Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer, which I don't hate. The shade I also got is a little bit dark, Fair 3, which is neutral. I should have just got the lightest shade. This was like a lot thinner than what I was expecting and didn't give as much coverage as I wanted it to. It actually really reminds me of the Lancôme concealer, but it did sink into lines a little bit less. So like, I did like it, but because it didn't give as much coverage and I just already have a concealer that's similar, I don't know, I was just expecting a little bit more glam coverage out of this. Because of Patrick Starr, I was like, yes, please. I actually bought this off of recommendation from Taylor Wynn, whose channel I love, but it's really interesting. Every time I buy a product that she recommends, it doesn't work for me, and I think that's probably because we have different skin types. Over the years, I've tried a lot of the products she recommends and I'm like, why don't I like these? Like, they don't work for me. And I think that's kind of just the importance of trying things on your own skin or finding YouTubers that have similar skin types to you or the same concerns that you do. I know she does have more dry skin, so she does really love this concealer. I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely not my favorite just because it didn't have enough coverage to it. So unfortunately, it's also going back. I have two more unfortunate flops. These are gonna need some explaining. The Youthforia Pre-Game Protective Primer. This is a very cream gel-like texture that's supposed to protect your skin from makeup and like pollutants. And I love the texture of it. It feels really nice and like protective and moisturizing, especially for sensitive skin and redness. I do really like this. I've actually used like quite a lot of it. I just don't like what this does with makeup. I find that my makeup sits on top of my skin, which might be the point. It's protecting your skin from the makeup, but it just doesn't work with the foundations that I use. This I still use on its own because it feels so nourishing and nice. I think if you have dry skin, this might work really well for you, but for me, it just adds a little bit too much moisture and my makeup breaks down a lot quicker. And then the sister product is the Pre-Game Skin Moisturizing Setting Spray. This I'm also like, I like it, but only in certain situations. My number one like gripe with this is when you spray it on your face, even from far away, it leaves like tiny little dots on your face where it hit your face, and then I have to go back in with my sponge to like smooth it out. And even then, it's still like stuck on my face in that way, which is interesting. And when it does like sort of get blended out, it makes you look so dewy and pretty. I think this is probably better over non-powdered makeup. I think these products are just not really for the type of makeup that I do, but again, if you have dry skin, sensitive skin like this, it's really thick. If you can like tell in the bottle, it definitely has like a thicker viscosity than most setting sprays, so it gives you a protective layer. So I really love the idea of these, but they haven't been working with my makeup, but I will still use them as like skincare products because I do really like them in that way, but not for makeup. I did also want to mention one fashion favorite. I almost forgot, but I got these A Goldie Nico jeans. I got these off of recommendation from Dearly Bethany. If you don't subscribe to her on YouTube, her fashion channel is like so amazing. She makes the best videos. She also has a similar body type to mine, which is so helpful. She is petite and pear-shaped. So she did a jean try on video of a bunch of different A Goldie styles. It was the skinny jean video. I will link it below. And she recommended the specific wash of the A Goldie jeans, and it is the Nico jeans in the style Rooted. So it's a very clean wash, which I love. It has this like raw stepped hem, and then it also has a button fly. And these jeans are a lyocell blend, which I'm gonna recommend these if you need like a pair of stretch jeans that are comfortable, but they don't stretch out and they look like a cotton pair of jeans. Like, they're that adult looking style of jean and they don't look cheap. I mean, they're not cheap either. They should not look cheap. And I don't usually like a button fly, but these are really nice because they hold in your stomach, like really nice support. It doesn't dig in, and because it has that lyocell, it is super soft, but lyocell does not lose its shape like spandex does. So it doesn't like stretch out on you, and it still keeps everything like nice and put together. It is so smooth on my leg. The inseam is perfect if you're petite, or if you're taller, it's gonna be like a cropped jean on you. They just look so good. Like, just one of the best pairs of jeans I've ever tried on. I'm so glad I took that recommendation. If you watched my other fashion video, I did try on the Goldie pinch waist skinny jeans, and I returned those for a smaller size because the 28 was too big. I got a 27, and then 27 was too small. So I kind of was just like, okay, that style's not for me. So I tried these out. They're not as high rise, but I just love them. I think the material makeup is a lot better for my body shape. They're so freaking soft, so worth the extra money. I just have such a hard time finding jeans, and what I really love about these is I usually have to size up to fit my thighs, but then there's like this extra fabric in the crotchal region which like bunches up in a weird way, but these do not do that and they still fit. So if you're like curvier, try these out. They're worth a shot. You could always return them, but try them out if you have like a really hard time finding jeans. And I love the clean wash. It's just so worth the extra money. Love these from Goldie. Don't forget to check out Hero Cosmetics. I will have the link below for their new Pimple Correct product. It's been working wonders on my little hormonal buddies. But yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.